Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on Merari's Industry 4.0 show. Today, I am so thrilled to be interviewing and sitting with our special guest, Dan Radomski. Dan is the director of Centrepolis, the accelerator here on the campus of Lawrence Technological University. And as always, I am Brad Waid, your host. How are you doing today, Dan?
Great, Brad. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's so good to see you. And as you can see, we are actually in your accelerator today. That's where we are filming today. And so Dan, tell me a little bit about Centrepolis, so the viewers can understand what this is all about, Centrepolis, the accelerator here.
Yeah, Centrepolis is a really unique program that is designed to help those that have physical products and advanced manufacturing technologies support their commercialization and their growth. So whether it's an inventor, it's a startup or an established business, if you have an idea for a physical product or an advanced manufacturing system, you can come to us and receive support from a lot of experts in product development, design, engineering, prototyping, and manufacturing to help you recognize that dream and bring that unique product or process to market. So.
Wow. So it's really helping local companies with their insight and to move forward with their visions and give them access to all kinds of different things that they maybe don't have access or resources in their own building.
Absolutely. I think what makes us unique is not only our lab here that we partner with Merari on to help with product design, engineering, prototyping, and that type of thing, but we have a group of experts that are on our staff that have 30 years of experience in design, engineering, prototyping, tool making, tool design, manufacturing readiness, and operational efficiencies. And it's really putting those really talented people on a team of a very young company that doesn't have that experience and having those people stay with them for like 6-12 months to ensure their success. I mean, we helped 9 new products come to market last year alone. And what's great about this too is we not only help them bring that product to market, but we actually make sure that they partner with local design, engineering, prototyping, and testing and manufacturing shops. So they're actually making their product here in Michigan as well.
Wow, that's incredible. And we're going to put the resources below so people can check out all the amazing people that are working here with you. And so Dan, let me ask you, how did this come to be, this whole Industry 4.0 accelerator, Centrepolis? How did this come together?
Well, first of all, we were fortunate to have the funding from the City of Southfield and Lawrence Tech University to launch this as official incubator and then get the recognition as a smart zone from the state of Michigan, which allowed us to get additional funding and support from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. We've since also, received funding from New Economy Initiative and Eagle and others at the state of Michigan to support this really valuable mission of launching up, physical product developers and turning them into manufacturing businesses here in the state of Michigan. But as we were doing this, we recognized, Brad, to your point, that a good percentage of the companies we were supporting and ideas we were supporting were what I would call advanced manufacturing technology or Industry 4.0, right? Where the technology itself, the innovation was bringing about operational efficiencies in the manufacturing environment, whether it was the use of virtual reality and augmented reality tools or artificial intelligence, or it was automation devices, additive manufacturing systems. So we said, hey, let's put a real concentration on this, right? Let's actually really have a vertical accelerator focused on Industry 4.0 technologies. And let's not just open it up to Michigan, those that have ideas here in Michigan. Let's open it up globally to anyone that is developing this technology as a way to try to bring them into Michigan to help support their business here, but more importantly, connect them to Michigan manufacturers who actually benefit from these technologies when they're put into operation in their own production facilities. So that's kind of how the idea was born.
That's incredible. So let me ask you this. So can you give me a couple descriptions of companies that could benefit from this entire setup from Centrepolis, the accelerator? Because there's probably going to be people watching and, in the beginning, they may not really realize that, oh, that's something that I can use or that's something that would benefit me. Can you just go over a couple of scenarios of kinds of customers or industries or businesses that would be a good fit to come and explore what you have here?
Yeah, so there's a company on the West Coast, Silicon Valley, for instance, and we're getting applications for this Industry 4.0 accelerator from everywhere, Japan, Brazil, Germany, all over the world, but certainly within our own state and in some of the innovation hub areas like Silicon Valley. And one of the companies from Silicon Valley, actually it's a University of Michigan grad that's now over there and launched a company, developed a really low cost, easy way to basically using visual systems, simple cameras, be able to track in a manual assembly process, and within 5 assemblies, be able to train the system to immediately tell the worker if they're doing a good assembly or a bad assembly, or if they've made a mistake in the assembly that could be detrimental to the product being in market and having warranty issues, right, or failures. And what we've been able to do is help that company really recognize what it takes to be able to bring that innovation to market, and more importantly, connect them with the manufacturers here in the state of Michigan that can utilize that. So what makes our Industry 4.0 Accelerator unique is that we have so many large and small Michigan manufacturers that are partnering with us to take a look at these applications, these technologies, and then consider implementing them in their manufacturing facilities. And the beautiful thing about that is not only will we help this company in Silicon Valley be successful and move operations here and grow their business, but then their technology is making our own manufacturers more efficient, right? And that's going to create better margins so they can reinvest in their companies and hire more people. And so that's the uniqueness of what we've created in this Industry 4.0 Accelerator.
That's awesome. And I want to jump on something you said. You talked about partners here in Michigan. Can you describe, one or two of them that you're really working with, or just kind of like the industry partners that you have right here in Southeastern Michigan?
Oh, yeah. We have very large companies and well-known names that are participating in our Industry 4.0 Accelerator. Forcia, major tier one's an example of that, right? And, they are taking a look at some of the technology companies that are applying to the I4O Accelerator. And then they are already working on potential pilots and demos, for instance. We also have smaller companies. The example of that would be Design Systems, right? Design Systems, maybe not well-known name as Forcia, but a company that's been in manufacturing operational efficiency consulting for many, many years, right? And so what they do is they work more with small to medium-sized manufacturers to give them advice on, Industry 4.0 tools and other things that can make them more efficient. So when we have a technology like I described, right, a lot of times it can be hard for that company to proliferate the use of that in a wide variety of customers. But partnering with Design Systems and as a channel partner, they already have those customers. They already are relied upon to bring these solutions to market. So another key initiative of what we're doing is connecting these brilliant companies and brilliant technologies to existing companies here in Michigan that already provide solutions so that they can more quickly make their way to market and start impacting our production operations here in the state.
Wow, that's awesome. So really, if a company is looking to explore some innovation or potentially bring some things to market, or just looking at the idea, they can contact you or anybody here at Centrepolis, and you will help them. Just want to make sure I can share this and convey this correctly. You'll help them to look at a roadmap, get connected to the people they need to. It might be a manufacturer, might be a prototyping, which I know you do some here as well. Is that kind of a good way to lay that out?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly going to companies that come through this. We're going to be able to help support their business strategy. We're going to be able to help support their business model development. We're going to help them with, connections, as we mentioned, to our corporate partners that could be either customers or channel partners, strategic partners in some way to help their company growth. But we're also going to help them, to your point, if as a part of what they're doing, they need a help with the product development, right? That's what we do well. So whether that's prototyping, design, engineering, maybe they're working on a next generation of their product that we can support them with. And then investment, right? All these companies, young companies, often need investment and being able to help support connecting them to funding agencies, venture capital, firms is another thing that we do to support them. So
that's awesome. So I want to pick your brain real quick. Under Industry 4.0, we know there are 9 segments. And I was just curious, I'm heavily involved in a few of them, augmented reality mainly. And that's where I've done a lot with helping companies, using AR, VR, train, workflow, and all that. Now, let's talk about possibilities of other ones. Where are you seeing, and it could be AR, where are the ones that you're seeing most of the action right now, or a lot, and where are the ones that you think, wow, I see a lot of this coming up, whether it's, autonomous robots, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, cloud computing, just what's your thoughts on that? Yeah,
so we're seeing a lot of interesting, what I would call a white space, and certainly a lot of innovation that's already coming through our Industry 4.0 pipeline that is on, using a lot of these unique visual tools to be able to create efficiencies in helping train workforce, helping them support servicing and maintenancing of machinery, collecting unique data points that weren't available that allows you visibility into understanding your manufacturing operation and throughput. So I'll give you an example of that, right? So Parasense is a company right here in Michigan that has developed a unique way of, in these low-cost sensors that you can embed on what we call legacy equipment. This would be machine tools in a manufacturing environment that are maybe 7 years or older. Some of the newer machinery collects a lot of data, as you know, but the older legacy equipment does not. So being able to, sense on older equipment that's still in operation, temperature, spindle speed, if you're starting to see variations in vibration in the spindle, where we could, dictate that, oh my God, we're going to have a problem with this machine. It's likely going to it might fail, right? Which means we'd have downtime, and it would, impact our production, right? So some of these technologies are incredibly important, right? And even in some cases allow for remote operations, which in this particular time that we're experiencing with the COVID pandemic, very important that you can do more of your manufacturing lights out, right? And you have the operational resiliency to manufacture at least at some level of production and remotely monitor and control production levels, right? So that is very, very promising. Certainly some of the things you talked about, the use of augmented reality, virtual reality, being able to create digital twins of the manufacturing environment, and then use that for not only product design collaboration across the manufacturer and the supply chain, or remote locations within the OEMs, but also be able to use that as a tester before you even put a manufacturing cell together. Use that kind of digital twin, interface that with a worker using augmented reality and virtual reality to test things like ergonomics and workflow, before you actually build the cell, right? And be able to avoid some additional costs that maybe you didn't bargain for, right? Also using some of those same tools that I know Mirari specializes in, and systems really help develop the applications and platforms for training and safety and remote monitoring and service support of equipment in a manufacturing environment. All incredible tools that bring about efficiency and a value proposition that we haven't seen before.
I love this. And I just took some notes as you were talking, because I feel like, if this were a longer show, we could go down the rabbit hole about so many more things. You mentioned digital twin, legacy machines, taking legacy machines and basically making them smart. And then you also mentioned lights out. I love that because not a lot of people use that term. I'll put some information on being a lights out industry, and what that means is basically something that can run, without humans being on site, and even so much to where like the lights can be shut off and, it can just run exclusive, which is great. Gosh, so, well, I'm so glad we have you here. And as we start to wrap up, what is the impact that you're really hoping to make here, not only in Southeast Michigan, but, worldwide, if you will? Like, what is the big major, goal for Centrepolis here?
Well, again, we are supporting the manufacturing community, right? New manufacturers of new product, as well as trying to help those that are already here embedded manufacturing unique products, big and small companies, right? And we want them to be operationally efficient, and we want them to be strong long-term. We also want to support the existing supply chain that supports manufacturing facilities. A lot of people overlook that. In the Industry 3.0 revolution, which was really the introduction of robotics and automation tools and computerization of the manufacturing facility, we actually dominated in creating jobs and a supply chain community around it. I mean, look at the companies that provide those solutions. The robotic companies like Kamau, and Kuka, and Fanuc, and ABB, and even some of the smaller, we have hundreds of custom system integrators, custom equipment manufacturers here in Michigan. So those are all high-tech jobs and literally hundreds of thousands of jobs in the manufacturing supply chain. And, you know, a lot of people like to talk about, well, automation and robots took jobs away. Well, that was inevitable. That was operational efficiencies. But what people forget is, you know, the jobs that were created by the companies that brought those solutions to market, right? And so as we go into Industry 4.0, it's the companies that are developing these AR solutions, right, or VR solutions, or you know, additive manufacturing solutions, or you know, some of these visual system and you know, sensor solutions that I've been talking about, that are going to be the job creators, right? And what do you want to be? Do you want to be the automated or the automator? We want to be the automator, right? We want to be Michigan, the companies that are providing these solutions and doing the work, you know, designing, engineering the automation systems, installing, servicing, and providing that value. And yes, we will lose some jobs in manual jobs on the manufacturing production floor, but what we can gain on the automate or side is far more impactful to our economy. So we're all in for that reason, and we're very fortunate to have partners like Merari that are a part of that automate or solution provider that will be the ones that really make a difference in helping manufacturers become more efficient.
Well, I love that. And I think you summed it up great, supporting the manufacturing community while also supporting the supply chain that's part of that entire process. As we start to wrap up, Dan, I just wanted to ask, if someone's watching this show and wants more information on Industry 4.0, the program, or Centrepolis, how can they get more information, or who should they contact, and how can they find out more about it? I'll put this in the show notes as well.
Yeah, so you can reach out to us and to our website, centrepolis.com. And we also have an Industry 4.0 Accelerator website that we can provide to listeners. We are taking applications for those that have solutions and want to be considered for the Industry 4.0 Accelerator on F6S, which is a platform for startups and investors. So we're taking applications now, and so yeah, absolutely. There's many channels to get in, but they can even personally contact me, Dan Radomski, and my email is dradomski@ltu.edu.
That's awesome, Dan. All right, well, thank you so much. Thanks for joining the show. Thanks for all your insight. I'd also like to say thanks to Lawrence Tech and Centrepolis for having us today. As always, thanks to Merari, our sponsor. Be sure to connect with us on LinkedIn, on all our social media channels. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. Stay connected, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Dan.